This is the Money Hour with your host, Tina Mitchell, on Alternative Talk, AM 1150. Now, back to the show with local mortgage and finance expert, Tina Mitchell.
Welcome back to the Money Hour. Your host and mortgage expert, Tina Mitchell, right here on 1150 AM KKNW, the Saturday, September 13th show. My goal is to keep you up to date on the latest news and trends in our local economy. Keep me tuned in, and I will definitely keep you informed. If you're hearing my show at a different time or day, you're listening to a rebroadcast, but you can always call into the show at 1-855-400-1150. Again, that's 1-855-400-1150 or online at themoneyhour.com. You may definitely want to ask questions to the experts that I have in studio here. There's never enough time to get through all the information that I want to with my guest, but just a little bit of information to get you thinking about what you need and the knowledge that you need for your money. So feel free to, again, call into the show with any questions you have, and I can directly connect you with my guest. And in studio right now, who has visited me many times, Lloyd Hara, King County Assessor. Our King County Assessor in studio talks about the property taxes and the values of our property and how it affects your property taxes and anything that's going on over at the assessor office. Lloyd, thank you again for coming back to visit me.
It's always great to come to see you, Tina.
Yeah, we try to get you in here every other month or every couple months, but I know things are busy and there's a lot of things that are going on over at the office, and I hate to pull you away for something so important that affects our money by no doubt. A little bit about Lloyd, a representative veteran, political official, was reelected as King County Assessor in November of 2011. Lloyd is a tireless advocate for taxpayers and champion openness and transparency for government agencies. He most recently served as a Seattle Port Commissioner, bringing new levels of accountability and leadership to the port. And Lloyd was King County's youngest auditor and award-winning national recognized Seattle City Treasurer and public finance expert. A Seattle native, and his distinguished record of public service spans more than 40 years. So, Lloyd, let's go ahead and start out with what's happening right now with an update for 2014 for property values.
As everyone knows, the real estate market is very hot, and even preparing for this next year's tax year, 2015, we are completing all of our valuations based on January 1st numbers for the 2014 assessment year. And we are seeing double-digit increases for many areas. But as you're well aware, Tina, but maybe not your listeners, that does not necessarily mean that your property tax will go up the same percentage. Probably it will not in many, many, many cases. And in fact, we have 86 areas. 85 are increasing. The only area where we just see a minor decrease over last year is in the recreational areas.
Okay. So in the communities received their valuations, which ones received their valuations last week, and who's going to be receiving them in the upcoming weeks, Lloyd?
Well, we have valuations that have just basically gone out to some areas on the east side and some South King County.
Okay.
Like down in the Des Moines, Burien area. Coming out this next week, we'll see several parts of White Center and Bellevue. So that will complete all of our valuations for all 86 areas. So as far as we are concerned, we've completed our valuation cycle. Now, there are some commercial properties, such as hotels and apartments, which are currently being posted, and those will be going out hopefully next week, but no later than probably 2 weeks from now.
Okay. And what information should my listeners look for in tier property assessments, and how does it transfer into property tax dollars?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, some people have gotten really frightened and said, oh, my goodness, my value has gone up by 15% or 20%, and even some cases 30%. That does not mean that your property tax will even come even close, say, for 30%. It might go up maybe 5%. And so it depends one on the value of your specific home and also the tax location code, because throughout King County we have many, many special levies that have been voted upon. And in some cases, 50% of your property tax is voter approved.
And I think that's a shocking percentage. Most people don't realize that when you think of property taxes, you directly connect it with the value of your home. And just like you said, it's 50% or less of that is actually the actual assessment value of your house. So, Lloyd, can you also talk about and share updated information in King County as far as what's happening in our condo market?
Well, the condo market is roaring back also. As you mentioned earlier, a lot of young people are getting into their first home. And
in our market, they need to start with a condo because the single-family homes are too expensive.
That's correct. And, you're looking at properties that are probably $150,000, upwards maybe up to $250,000. And that's probably within the salary range of many young people just starting out. And, with the valuations for condos versus renting, it comes out to the point where sometimes it's even better as an investment to buy now than to rent. And at least you're building equity that way.
Yeah, and I always tell clients, you definitely want to look at the numbers, and I'm a numbers person because I do mortgages for a full-time living, just hanging out here with you on the weekend doing the Money Hour show. But the numbers, they're either going to show red or green. I mean, take a look at them and you can see what the cost of rent is, loss of the tax benefit, the deduction, maybe the tax credit if you qualify as a first-time home buyer. You also need to look at the fact of what's going towards the principal, the pay down of your mortgage. So the numbers are really easy to run if you're using the appropriate assumptions. So let's talk about the difference of the real estate market now versus where it was in 2008. So prior to the 2008, and what are we seeing today in the recovery?
Oh yeah, we definitely see us moving back to the high water mark that was established in 2008. And for many, you're probably now at that cost point. If you bought in 2008, your house could well be equal to that value.
Okay.
So you're finally getting out from under. There are still a few areas within the county where the values are still below the 2008 level. And
what areas are you seeing in that?
Well,
Lloyd?
that's primarily in the south end of the county.
Okay.
The Kent area, the Burien, SeaTac, Des Moines, etc. The hotter areas clearly are like on the east side, high-end houses, Medina, Hunts Point, etc. I mean, they never really lost all that value, but, they're clearly in what you would classify as a more profitable area above 2008.
Yep. Now, Lloyd, we all have our predictions on real estate, whether you're talking to me in the mortgage arena that has my own idea of what I think real estate's going to do. Obviously, you're real estate agents, and I know there's a lot of conversation going on over at your office as well. What do you think of our future real estate and the upcoming appreciation or the slowdown of the market? What are your thoughts?
Well, right now, since we are the second fastest growing urban area in the country, and jobs are being created all over the place, what does that do? That drives and brings in new workers. They have to have a place to live. So as a consequence of supply and demand, values, I see, at least for the short term, will continue to rise. And our economy is diversifying. So the good thing here is a lot of the new jobs, the per capita income for those jobs is higher than what they've been in the past.
Yes.
So people have more money. So as a consequence, with more money, you'll probably see more folks getting into real estate.
Yeah, it makes total sense, Lloyd. Can you talk to my seniors that are listening today on what they need to be doing to make sure? Because I know that when we've talked about this before, that there's a lot of seniors that are actually missing out on the opportunity to get that discount on their property taxes. And how long do they have if they've missed? And where should they go to see if they qualify?
Okay, if you're 62 years of age and older, and you live in your primary residence, and you earn $35,000 gross income or less, you could well qualify. And we pick up folks that, gee, I didn't know the program existed.
Yes.
Yes, we can go back 3 years if you missed it. So I am encouraging any senior that thinks they might qualify to contact our office.
Okay.
Okay. And to basically do that. And if they're on the computer, they can go to kingcounty.gov/assessor, and you can quickly come up with the forms and the other information that you need to fill out.
Okay. And Lloyd, I know that your office has done some amazing things with the website since we're on that topic. Can you give just a little brief of some of the benefits and things that they can? Because I think in getting values, I go to your website a lot now to get an idea of where the market and what's happening with real estate appreciation. And so can you talk about that?
Well, we're continuing to expand our website, and we get well over 4 million page views per month.
Wow.
Which is a lot of activity.
You guys are popular.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people, especially now that the real estate market is, what it is.
Of course.
People are looking. The other element is that we've won national awards for our work on our website. And a little over a year ago, we brought in the web app for doing appeals, and we just came back and won an award for that event.
So it makes it a lot easier for the appeal process.
Absolutely. We are currently looking at beginning to combine a lot of other data, census data, health data, other social economic data onto our website, so then you can begin to pinpoint what's activities that are happening. And hopefully we'll get that programmed and out by the end of the year.
That's awesome. Well, since I started interviewing you, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, there's been a lot of a lot of updates since that time.
Absolutely.
So, Lloyd, we've got a minute left before I've got to take us to break. Anything else you want to leave my listeners with on what's happening over at your office? Any advice to give them regarding taxes, levies, new construction, anything you want to share?
Well, I encourage people to go on our website, take a look at their particular property, look at the characteristics that are there.
Okay.
If they see anything in error, please call us. We're not infallible. We do make mistakes from time to time. But on the other hand, we want to make sure it's correct. And people that have lost views, for example, say, I don't have my view anymore, please call us, because that does impact the value of your property. So if there's anything that's amiss, please get a hold of us. Well, I guess that's my message. The other aspect of it, don't be surprised when new taxes come out, because a lot of special levies have been adopted this year.
Yeah, which, you've got to open that and make a decision if you're going to vote or not, because it has a huge impact on what's going to happen with your property taxes. Lloyd, thank you so much again for spending time with me. I know it's just crazy busy for you, and I just really appreciate you taking time to come out and personally come into studio.
Well, it's always a pleasure, and I will spend all the time that I need with you, Tina. It's a great show.
Thanks, Lloyd. Thank you. Coming up next to the Money Hour, are you a smart and safe financial investor? Do you really think about the best place to put your money? And you may have an idea of where you think you need to put it, but having an expert opinion, and you know how I feel about anything regarding money, there's experts in each arena when it comes to your money, and you need to talk with them to make sure that you're doing the right appropriate things to maximize your return. And that's why I've invited Brad Van Vechten, founder and managing member for Private Wealth Management Solutions, right here on 1150 AM KKNW after the short break.